Previously on Divorce Court.
He left her to get away from her. So I'm not gonna let my son be out in the street. Something happened to him, oh no, then I'm gonna look at her.
He has a nasty attitude problem.
What do you mean he has a nasty attitude?
He gets mad at the kids and stay beefing with them. He calls them people on the street. Then if he gets an attitude for something I said or something I did, he'll run across the house and just knock all the pictures off the wall.
Mr. Drew, are you cheating on her or are you not?
No, I ain't got no reason to. If I was gonna do that, I did that a long time ago.
Divorce Court is now in session.
We are reconvening the matter of Drew versus Drew. I adjourn this matter to regain my composure. Mrs. Drew, I'm going to start with you. You have 5 children, a 15-year marriage. It has been your contention that Mrs. Bell over there, your husband's mother, has been setting his son up with women. And we brought Ms. Jeffrey here to talk about it. So I got to figure out who's telling the truth. What are your beliefs with respect to what his mother is doing?
Well, every time she has a job, she's always calling her son to the job. So I was wondering what was going on. And then when I would get back with him and we on good terms now, he's telling me, oh yeah, I was talking to this woman over there. And I said, well, why every time your mother switched jobs, it's a new woman in place. So I knew that his mother was hooking him up with other women because she don't want me in the picture. So anything to get me out the picture, and she knew she wasn't gonna work. So she had to bring somebody else involved.
Okay, let me ask you this. Ms. Jeffrey, how did you meet Mr. Drew, and truly, what is the nature of your relationship with him?
I met him at a holiday party. As you know, my mom works with her, so his mom introduced us.
Right.
We met there. We talked. I had just moved down there at the time, so pretty much she said that he can show me around. I didn't know anybody down there, and of course, you know, being as though I know her, she did express that she doesn't like her, and of course, it led to him telling me about the situations with him not wanting to be with her and everything like that.
Right.
But yes, we did, you know, go out, went out to eat, things like that. As in a way, he's showing me.
Hang on, no, stop. I can run this thing, Mrs. Drew, and I'm gonna run you right out of here if you don't stop.
Not a circus.
Your Honor, can I
No! You got one more? Have you two gone out on dates?
Yes, we have, but
And you knew he was married?
I did.
And if he were to ask you to take it to the next level, would you?
No, absolutely not. She was in another state. He was living with his mom. So no, that wasn't the case at all.
Okay, Mr. Drew, why don't you tell me what the nature of your relationship with Miss Jeffrey is?
It was cool. She's amongst all of the people that I met at my mother's Christmas party. I met my homeboy that I hang out with now. She don't say nothing about him. He do security at her job.
That's a guy.
I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly, so it's people that are meeting, it's not just
Mr.
female.
Drew, I'm not gonna lie though. When she walked out of there, the look on your face, you were horrified.
I'm trying to figure out why she here. That's
So
all.
there's nothing else going on?
Nothing else going on. Like I said, if I wanted to do something, first off, I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't be that sloppy. I'd go somewhere else. I wouldn't do it that close to home, knowing that everybody linked together.
But you didn't know I was going to get her number.
And I, as a mother, wouldn't allow it to take place in my presence.
That's a
now,
lie.
yeah, right to you because you're a
That's a lie.
cheater.
Hey,
You
you're
call me
a
a cheater,
cheater.
but where's the proof?
Mrs. Drew,
The proof is in the pudding, bitch.
Sit Mrs. Drew down. Sit Mrs. Drew down.
Y'all gotta get me out of here.
You're not gonna do nothing but sit there and be disrespectful as usual.
As usual.
I'm gonna ask everybody to relax. Okay? I want everybody to relax. Mr. Drew, I'm gonna go to you, and then Ms. Jeffrey, I have a question for you. Mr. Drew, what would you like to say, sir?
The whole thing is you could be associated with somebody of the opposite sex and have no sexual feelings towards them. If that was the case, then half of the rappers in Atlanta would be in a relationship with her. Am I correct?
That's what you say.
I doubt it.
We got pics. What
Ms.
you talking
Jeffrey,
about?
let me ask you this. Ms. Jeffrey,
she throwing shade in the courtroom.
Stop it. Do you have feelings for her?
No, absolutely not. No.
None whatsoever. So if divorce, granted, 2 days, out, done, he asked you out, your response would be what?
Nothing would change. You know, the only thing that kind of made this situation hectic is her calling me, being disrespectful. As you can see, I came to a courtroom, not a circus, and she's still being a clown.
Exactly.
So, you know, instead of her calling me to question me, she's calling me to accuse me. That's a problem. I'm cordial. I give you the same respect you give me. When you disrespect me, all bets are off, and I'm gonna meet you at your level. So that's how that went.
So how often do you two engage in conversations or disputes?
Oh, no, she hit me up one time. That's one and done for me.
So that is over.
Yeah.
That is over. Do you have a relationship with any of their children?
No,
No. Now, Mrs. Drew,
Not gonna happen.
honestly, just between mother to mother, would you like your son to move on to Miss Jeffrey?
Oh, I don't pick who my son falls in love with. I don't pick who, because if I did, she wouldn't have been my pick.
Right.
Okay?
But she
likes me
wouldn't
better
have been
than
my
her.
pick
Stop.
because from day one, she's been disrespected. I mean, day one, her plan. I'm gonna tell you, Yana, I found out they were getting married 2 days before they got married. You know how I found out? Her mother told my mother. That's how I found out that she was getting married. Kevin knew. I wanted him to travel the world. He was in the Navy. She knew he was in the Navy too. That's why she wanted to get with him.
Well, let me ask you this. Why are you blaming her for that? He's your son. He should have told you he was getting married.
I understand that, but he knew not to come to me with that. He knew. Honestly, he knew not to come to me because I did not want to hear it. But to hear it from her mother.
Yeah,
okay.
But you can't just blame him. He's a grown man.
I didn't want her to marry him. I didn't want him to marry her.
I am talking. If he's grown enough to pick his own wife, he's grown enough to get married, he should be grown enough to tell his mother what he's about to do without being
Absolutely.
afraid.
I agree.
So you can't blame that on her.
I'm not blaming
That's
her
him.
on that. I'm just saying I don't like her. I never wanted them to be married.
What
Bottom
didn't
line.
you like her in the beginning? Why didn't you like her in the beginning?
She's always
was
been
at
a
the wedding.
disrespectful
Stop it.
little hood rat. Okay? She was the one riding around the neighborhood, half dressed, always thinking she was the queen of everything. Oh, I got everybody's looking at me. I got it like that. You don't have a pot to pee in.
Okay.
Stop faking.
We're going to end that conversation. Mrs. Drew, if can you act like you got some sense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please come on back up.
Yes.
That's a lie.
Now, why don't you respond to the accusations that you tipped off and got married to her son, didn't tell anybody? What was the complication that allowed or required that to happen?
I don't know what was. Kevin wants his mother, and his mother wants him. So it probably was he didn't want to tell her, give out, the information, and tell her, oh, I'm going to move on, Mom, because that's what he should have done. I asked him to do that. He didn't do that. But at the wedding, she was there. She actually signed the
I'ma be
paperwork
supportive.
So first I'm with my mother, now I'm with her. Now who am I be with next?
I don't know. That's a good question, Kevin.
She's
Just like
crazy.
everybody in your inbox. Everybody's on the Steal Your Man challenge, just going around.
I
out
don't
here for
understand
some
how you could be
reason.
so confident yet so intimidated by
At the same time.
Hey,
sweetie.
stop it. Stop it. Do you believe she's a good mother to their 5 children?
She needs to discipline them. I mean, they get away with murder. She tells people that I don't want my grandchildren at my house, which is not the case. She doesn't want them at my house because they enjoy themselves around me. They can be children around me.
No, that's a lie.
Yeah, right.
Well, what I'm going to spend the remainder of this session doing is talking about today forward. Because we got to talk about the kids because they got to co-parent and we've got to get things done and I got to get you off your feet. So we're going to move forward.
He went in the store and left his phone in the car. And this girl called and her picture pops up. So that's where I got the phone number from. But also in the phone is pictures of a little boy. So I want to know who is the little boy. Because it ain't my kids. My kids all look the same. This baby looks nothing like them.
Mr. Drew, do you know what little boy she's referring to? Now, Ms. Jeffrey, I'm going to give you the opportunity to sit down because you've been standing there for a little while. But I want to ask you, is there something you want to say? Something, because it seems that you have something on your mind, and I just want to know exactly what's going on here.
Yes, I want to figure out what is Kevin going to do. We were going out, we were hanging out. He has been expressing to me he wanted to leave her, based on what the mom was saying,
Objection.
and he was saying they were in
I'm
agreement
going
to
to let you
that.
respond.
And at this time, he needs to man up. We did go out. I heard him over talking me saying, as friends, we were going out. But like I said, I was aware he was a married man. So I wouldn't take it any
drew a
further.
line.
I say it again, exactly. But I'm not going to let him just throw sand over that line either.
Why
we
is
were
that your
going out.
business?
Stop it. Mr. Drew, your response to that comment? Were you dating her, weren't you?
No, I need a lawyer. 'Cause this ain't right. I need some type of legal counsel or something because
I
they
mean,
lie.
at the end of the day, he's a man. He's lying about not even wanting to divorce her, so of course he would lie about that.
But Jasmine, he's not lying about not wanting a divorce. Y'all were friends. Why
I
are you
picked him up
why are
at
you
your
making
house.
it any
Okay, I got it. To me at my car.
Oh my God!
I got it. Miss Jeff, go ahead and have a seat.
you.
I think I know what's happening here.
Can she sit over there?
Let's don't go over.
Right there.
I'll
We're
sit
all going to
furthest
behave
away.
like we're
Not a
adults.
problem.
So it shouldn't be in a problem where
Proof.
she sits. So, Mr. Drew, you say nothing's going on, she's just a friend.
Nah.
And you're not dating anybody else.
No, ma'am.
You're not seeing any other women.
No, ma'am.
You've been separated, but you haven't touched nobody, you haven't kissed nobody, you haven't gone out with anybody. You just at home with your mom.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I get it. I get that that's your story. Mrs. Drew, you seem to want to have something to respond. What is it?
When we was at the store one day, and he had took me to the store because the kids needed some food, so he took me to the grocery store. He went in the store and left his phone in the car. And this girl called, and her picture pops up. So that's where I got the phone number from. But also in the phone is pictures of a little boy. So I want to know who is the little boy. Because it ain't my kids. My kids all look the same. This baby looks nothing like them.
Mr. Drew, do you know what little boy she's referring to?
It was a meme that I had on my phone. That's all it was.
That was clearly not a meme.
The picture actually had words on there saying something about how somebody's son looked old or something like that. It wasn't nothing relative to me.
Mr. Drew, if eyes could burn, you'd have a hole in the back of your head. Mrs. Jeffrey, do you care to comment on that?
He does have a picture of my son now. It's being a screensaver. I'm not sure of that. My son moved with me, so of course I learned places where kids could go, the aquarium, where he takes his kids when he has them.
He not even take kids old
He never had
when
my
she
child.
moved out, she took all the stuff in the middle of the night after I got into my car accident, texted me and told me that she moved to South Carolina.
But
she was telling me that for a whole month. A whole month. So I'm texting her, telling her, well, I need to see my kids. I need to see my kids. Oh, we in South Carolina. It's too far to drive today. It's 3 hours away. It's 4 hours away. This, that, and that. But you're going to have to see him on the weekend. Turn out, it's her friends inboxing me. We talking. And I kind of find out she lived 30 minutes down the street from where we live at. I got a 6-bedroom house, Your Honor. They could have stayed with me. She talking about something, we going to a shelter for battered women. Who you lying to? How you get in there, first off? And why would you take your kids to a shelter when I got a 6-bedroom house?
Okay.
And travel to South Carolina to do it.
Let's talk about the leaving and the situation with the children.
My concern is kids should stay in kids' place. Kids should never be involved in the conflicts of their parents. So therefore, you should not be talking down about the other parent to your children so that they
Does
won't
that
up to
happen? Would you date someone who's separated but not legally divorced? Tell us what you think at facebook.com/Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Divorce Court. Mrs. Drew, we were talking about when you left and the situation with your children. Why don't you give me your version of that event? Because he said you kept him down the street and they could have been home the whole time.
That's because he came in the house at 5 o'clock in the morning because we was arguing. He feel as though when we arguing, he could do whatever he want to do, that he's no longer my husband.
That's personal,
So
though.
he comes in the house, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I said, and I got up out my bed. I said, one thing about this, Kevin, I ain't never been disrespected. I'm not about to start it now. You're not going to disrespect me in my house. So it's either me or you. Because if you think you're going to be coming home at 5 o'clock in the morning, you might as well live by yourself. And I gave him that ultimatum. He said, oh, well, it's going to be you because I'm not leaving my house. He feel as though it's his house because his name is on the loan and my name is on the deed. So then he just feel like, okay, I own this house. So I said, okay, cool. And I left. I packed up my stuff and I left and I moved and got my own place. Do you let him see the kids? He could have called me and asked me, but he did not call me.
Judge,
and did not ask me,
every time she catch an attitude with me, the first thing she do is she slap on her bulletproof vest, which is all 5 of my kids, and she say, well, if you can't get along with me, or if you don't do what I say, you will never see your kids again. You will never see your kids again.
Mrs. Drew, let me say this. You doing your children a disservice. Children that who have a father who wants to be active and involved have a right to have them in their lives, and you got to make it easy for them. You have no right to make them fatherless. The girls are going to go out with the first guy they see because they don't have a dad at home that makes them feel like the princess. The dudes are just going to go wild and because they don't have, when they're teenagers, they don't have a man in the house that does a little bit of this when they get a little gruff and angry. Because I know I've had 6 sons. I know when they get crazy, I step back and my husband step forward. So you don't have that right. And I want you to be very, very clear about that. You do not have the right to do that to your children. I don't care whether you like him or not. I don't care whether you like him or not. Now, Ms. Bell, you just dying to say something. I'm going to ask you one question, and I'm going to leave it go because I got to talk about this money. In your heart of hearts, you would like him to move on and to move on with her or someone else, or do you have no one in mind?
I have no one in mind, but that's not my concern. My concern is, you know, if kids should stay in kids' place. Kids should never be involved in the conflicts of their parents. So therefore, you should not be talking down about the other parent to your children so that they
Does
walk
that
up to
happen?
you. Yes.
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 At no point,
Yes.
hey, this is just a categorical statement. At no point in time should any parent say anything negative to their children about the other parent. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what's happening. You are destroying their foundation, their security, their need to have 2 stable parents, and you don't have that right. Neither one of you. I don't know if you're doing it or not, but I know you are. Because I know how you. Because I know how you're behaving here.
No, I let my kids speak for themselves.
Hey. Inappropriate, grossly incorrect, and don't let it happen again.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
Is it better to stay married for the kids? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. So after 15 years, you guys have been together since you were 12, right? 5 children. You're ending this marriage. You are seeking from him $6,500, $4,000 for a new car, $700 for a U-Haul, and $1,500 for a townhome deposit and rent. Can you explain to me the nature of your request?
Because the day that we got into the argument where he had where I woke up and he came in the house at 5 o'clock in the morning, I gave him an ultimatum. The next day, he asked me for the keys back to the vehicle that I drive with the kids. It was a minivan. He asked me to give him back his keys and leave. Okay, so I gave him back his keys. I had to go out and find me a new car, so I had to buy a new car. Then I turned around when I moved, had to furnish my apartment. I had to get I had to move all my furniture
she made
to
on
the
her own.
apartment. To the new apartment. Then on top of that, I had to pay for the security deposit and the first month's rent. So I feel as though he should pay for that because I wouldn't have left if it wouldn't have happened.
No, you can't. Because no. She's not getting any money. Let me tell you why she's not getting any money. You over here, Miss Power Broker, the primary breadwinner, and all of that. When people separate, it's the breadwinner that has to pay the non-breadwinner the money to separate. You made the decision to move, so you moved, and that was your choice. That was your decision. You bad. You making all that money. You spend it on what you need to spend it on. But I'm gonna tell you what. Sure. Don't let me hear about you not letting that man see his kids. Don't let me hear you talking badly about that man, not just to him, but in front of him. You are dismantling them when you do that. You are destroying them when you do that. You're making them feel small and like nothing. And whatever damage you think you're doing to him, multiply it by 20, and that's what you're doing to your kids. And you don't have that right. There will be no recovery in this matter.
Thank you.
It is so ordered.
Good try, though. Do you eat for effort?
Kavisha says everybody's a homewrecker. She said his mom is a homewrecker. So whatever she has to say, she's crazy. She has problems, she's delusional, and the problem is bigger than me. So I'm not really worried about Kavisha. At the end of the day, there was no home to wreck. Neither one of them were staying in a home together, period. She was in a whole nother state. So she's just gonna be that person anyway.